New York is holding its semi-annual Fashion Week when companies and designers present their newest collections. Now this year, Somali-born twins Idil and Ayan Mohalem, known as Matano, are hoping their spring 2011 collection will be a hit with fashion buyers. VOA's Carolyn has that story.
The Museum of Biblical Art is not the first place you'd expect to find a fashion show. But the young designers behind Matano, identical twins Idil and Ayan Mohalem, chose the museum to showcase their spring collection, placing their models and mannequins among gold and scarlet painted icons centuries old. Idil Mohalem said the presentation, which they chose as less expensive than a runway show, was going well.
Not only because we're showcasing at a museum with great art, but because we're only one block away from Lincoln Center, where this year's Fashion Week is taking place.
The Mohalem sisters created Matano, which means twins in Somali, in 2008, when they were just a few years out of college. It was something they'd long hoped to do. When war in Somalia led their family to immigrate to the U.S., the 9-year-old twins were immediately fascinated by the styles they saw in magazines and on television.
Actually, we always say that we learn English by reading fashion magazines.
But the kind of clothing they had seen women in Somalia wear remained with them too.
We definitely take from Somalia, but we give it a very modern New York edge.
The two live and work in their Brooklyn, New York apartment, where they create designs on their computers and meet with models for final fittings.
How's that? That's much better, much better.
Most of their clothes this season are highly feminine. Muted silk dresses, blouses, and pants in a palette they call Desert Blossom.
The printed organza is like, this is like just absolutely just beautiful. It has the right stiffness just so that you'll get a fullness.
In July, the sisters traveled to South Africa to present their spring 2011 collection in a runway show in Johannesburg. They say the enthusiastic reception to their work there has led them to rework their business plan to focus on African buyers too.
Africa is a market that we definitely want to tap into, and in Africa they're very supportive of African designers because there aren't that many of us.
Later this month, Idil and Ayan Mohalem will take the Matano spring collection for shows in Ethiopia and Nigeria. They say they hope that someday conditions in Somalia will permit them to visit their native country again as well. Carolyn, VOA News, New York.
Very impressive.